Bienvenidos a La Vida Lucky, donde celebramos a los negocios, artistas y activistas latinos en la Florida y le ponemos alegría a tus jueves. Cada historia, cada talento y cada esfuerzo son una muestra del poder y la unión de nuestra comunidad. Súmate para disfrutar de cultura, creatividad y ritmo, mientras los que están haciendo un impacto nos cuentan sus historias y planes para el futuro. Que la voz latina florezca con arte, negocios y corazón.
Hola, bienvenidos a La Vida Lucky en el Pulso Latino TV, otro día más, ¿verdad? Como siempre, pues charlando con la comunidad latina, profesionales latinos, dueños de negocios, empleados que quieran hablar, ¿verdad? Siempre le pregunto de la vida personal y un poquito, ¿verdad?, de qué es lo que están haciendo, si es un proyecto, un negocio o cuál es el tema, ¿verdad?, de ese día. Entonces, hoy, ¿verdad?, voy a estar hablando con Mark. Él lo conocí en un evento en Boca y entonces es verdad que vamos a estar hablando con él, ¿verdad?, cómo llegó acá y de su historia, su trabajo y todo eso. Vamos a estar hablando en inglés, so it's going to be English, porque él dice que el español de él no es tan pretty, so entonces va a ser en inglés, pero ustedes saben que ustedes entienden y de vez en cuando yo doy el Spanglish y una explicación en español. Pero siempre, si quieren venir acá al show, presentar su proyecto o tu idea o tu historia, saben, se comunican conmigo y súper contenta los tendré aquí. So, bueno, Mark, vamos a recibir a Mark. Mark, bienvenido. Welcome.
Hey, how are you? Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you. So, it's Mark Berrios-Ayala.
Ayala, yes.
Yes. So, Mark, I always ask, doesn't matter the order, but I want to know who are you, you know, so whichever that defines you, where you're from or like your family, just tell me a little bit about Mark.
Yeah, well, self-published author, Miami lawyer, just a humble man trying to make his impact on the world. So, I come from a weird place. Both my parents are Puerto Rican. I was born in Charleston, South Carolina, believe it or not. My dad is former Navy. So he was stationed there back in 1991 when I was born. So, and then I grew up partly in the Tampa Bay area, then in Orlando, and then after college I moved to South Florida for law school and stayed.
Okay. So I was going to ask that next. So you moved to South Florida because of school? So
yeah, definitely for school, and also I wanted to get out of Central Florida and go somewhere new.
Okay. So what school you went for law school in South Florida?
So I went to college at the University of Central Florida. I did go to Valencia to get an AA. Then I got my bachelor's at the University of Central Florida about 11 years ago. And then I went to Florida International for law school after that.
Okay, very good. So what happened? So you came for school and you think you're going to stay in South Florida? South Florida, like, is more home?
Yeah, I've been here since 2014. So obviously I've been here a long time. Coming up on 11 years.
Okay. With me as well, I have been in Florida, I will say, 20-something years. But when I came to South Florida, it was for a job some years ago, many years ago. And I said, this is home. Mm-hmm. For me, like, I felt like South Florida was home. I did also live in Central Florida, in Orlando. And I did live in Orlando for like 5 years. And I had an opportunity to say, hey, if you move to South Florida, Broward County or Dade County, we'll give you this job. And I'm like, okay, let's go and do it. And then so when I got here, like, I really like it. And I, like the experience of like meeting people from everywhere. You know, we're a melting pot where we meet individuals from all over the different countries and all over the world. So it's like really cool. So what make you, so we know that you were a military family from Puerto Rico, born in South Carolina, but then ended up in Central Florida. A lot of Boricuas in Central Florida, in Orlando.
Yep.
So there's like an area in Orlando that is like Puerto Rico.
I used to live close to there, Kissimmee, Poinciana.
Uh-huh.
So
yeah.
I'm from Davenport, if you know Central Florida, so it's really close to there.
So your parents still in Central Florida?
Yes, they're still there.
Okay, so yeah, there's I have many friends in Central Florida, Orlando, Kissimmee, Poinciana, all that area. I think Goldenrod?
I know where that is.
Uh-huh. So kind of like that area also is like very Puerto Rican. It's really cool. Really cool to visit. So you go to Orlando to visit the family, or?
Yeah, all the time. All the time. I was there, I think, a few months ago.
Okay.
So, yeah, all the time. I go there all the time.
What made you decide when you were in college to go for law school? That was something that you knew, like some people know, or like how?
During college, I wanted to be a film director. I did make a few documentaries, but I decided that really wasn't for me at the time, so I decided to go to law school. Let's go back to fall 2013, 2014.
Uh-huh.
So I applied. I got an offer at FIU very quickly. At the time, it was the best offer I had. I mean, I got waitlisted at Cornell. I would have gone there had I honestly gotten in, but I got waitlisted. And I also applied for jobs just to see, is there a job worth putting off school? It just didn't happen. I mean, so I ended up going there. It was just the best, the best overall option I had.
Okay. So from filming till attorney. And then the way you're explaining it is just like you handle it well. Like, okay, you were in a wait list. So you were accepted. You had choices, and then you decided you ended up in South Florida in law school. So do you like there's? I just want to know, like, what part of being in law like you like the best?
Well, see, when I was in law school, I actually interned for a judge, also Puerto Rican. She's in Miami.
Okay.
And I learned from her that the biggest thing with law is there's a bit of a public service type thing. I mean, am I required to for any job? No. That being said, it's kind of like what you do, when you're not working, giving back, and that's what I think is my favorite part of it. So I'm part of the board of the Puerto Rican Bar Association of Florida. I'm their vice president for District 3, which is lawyer talk for Miami-Dade and Monroe. So yeah, that's what I do. I'm on board of other bar associations too. So I'm part of Big Brothers Big Sisters, so I like to do that. So you have a little kid as your mentee. So
yeah, that is a great program for children that need like an adult to like mentor them and be an example. So that's really cool. So you're part of the bar association. So is it Puerto Rican Bar Association?
Yes.
And that's like Dade, Broward, or
statewide. So I'm the rep for Miami-Dade and Monroe, so which is the Keys and Miami. So technically, Broward and West Palm, they have another rep for that. So, but I can help them out if necessary, and I often do. So
okay. So if someone was trying to decide if they wanted to be in law school, maybe they can reach out. You talk to them about it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, because a lot of times I think that one topic based on what you're telling me today. It's like a lot of our young adults or like kids in high school trying to figure out if they're gonna go to college, what they're gonna do, what is gonna be their career, and it's trying to figure that out. And then also is that part of I'm applying here and there, and then what to do and how to react and how to handle all that. So it's like it's a big thing. The other thing that you mentioned that I want to highlight also is that. For you, law, you learn from that judge you work in Miami that is about service. So, and I agree. I agree because it doesn't matter like what field, and I want you to tell us a little bit about, the fields that you have worked in law, but it doesn't matter what field in law you're trying to provide a solution, to support somebody, to defend somebody, to make justice. It doesn't matter how we explain it. Yeah. It's really service.
Yeah, the thing with being an attorney, if you really want to be good at it, is you have to understand sooner or later you're going to represent a client that's kind of in the wrong of a situation, and you have to definitely be okay with that. And if you're really not, you may want to change practice areas or rethink it because, as one person told me, if everybody lived perfect lives, there'd be no need for us. So if you're talking to me to hire me, it's because something went wrong in your life, and it could be because you did something, and I'm going to hear. And my job is to help you mitigate the damage, or someone wronged you, and I'm helping you recover. So, but it's going to be one of those things.
It can be both sides. So you can.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised. Sometimes you have someone a client come to you and say, "Hey, someone wronged me," and when I get into the weeds of the case, I realize no, you actually weren't wrong, and I have to tell them that.
Okay.
And at the other end of the spectrum, I may be helping someone I think was in the wrong, and I found out, no, not necessarily true.
Yeah.
So I had, I'll tell you a pro bono case that I did a few years ago. It was a lady who basically got fired for being pregnant, and we helped her recover something pre-suit. So I can't go into the details of it other than that. It's confidential. So it's her, we call it privileged information. It's her secrets to keep, so I have to do it for her. So, but I can't go in more in depth than that.
But like different situations like that you still see today. So I feel the importance of having, you know, attorneys and, you know, in the law to kind of like defend a lot of people. I'm part of a board of Silo, and one of the programs that they have is helping the crime victims that have disabilities. Mm-hmm. And I just think that, you know, attorneys and the law groups are helping the community kind of like defending, in this case, like crime victims, and it's so important. Mm-hmm. Like it's so important. So what was the field that you recently were working on, or the last field you were working on law, like what you were doing?
So it's called first party property. It's basically hurricane related property damage claims. That's what I used to do. Work in that area is not as strong as it used to be, so I'm looking for a new opportunity. So that's just time to, sometimes you have to see when the writing's on the wall, when it's time to make a move and do something different. So
okay.
So
right now you're in a good situation, if we put it that way, because you're like exploring what what field you're going next.
Yeah.
And I have met different professionals in the law, and when I ask, you know, they have been in different experience, and they just like broaden their knowledge and, you know, being able to help their community. So right now you live in Broward County.
Yeah.
So you're planning to, that's home for you, or you're open to maybe move to Palm Beach? Or?
I could move to Palm Beach. I could move to Palm Beach.
So like if you find an opportunity, and like we're talking, so like you're, hey, you know, my guess is open to hire. So like if there's the right opportunity that you feel, I call it, you feel at home, mm-hmm. So you're open to move if it's Palm Beach County or whichever.
Definitely. That's basically right. So.
Okay. So while you're working, serving and providing services, so you're part of the Puerto Rican Bar Association. What other, I think you mentioned you were part of another group.
Yeah, I'm part of like a group of like African American lawyers in South Florida, so I'm part of their board too. So I always say typical Puerto Rican, we always interact with them, always help each other out. So it's, you have to understand my people's culture specifically to get that.
Yeah.
So do your research.
But it's like I'm from Puerto Rico, and that's something that we talk about, and I talk to other Latinos here from all over, you know, the world, South America and so on. And I think a similarity that we have mm-hmm. is like we're a host, mm-hmm. right? And we like to serve and help, and like we like to be part of the community. So I see a lot of like Latino groups. One of my passions, other than, you know, working with business owners, is seeing other Latinos growing, if it's an association, if it's a group, if it's a networking group, or whatever they're doing. Because, you know, there's a lot of leaders in the community that we're trying to highlight our Latinos. And one of my goals is to, like, be united. I don't like kind of the united word, but it's like remove the competition word of it, just like being able that, hey, I can help you. We can help each other. We can collaborate. And I will repeat it, like, there's no competition. Like, we can help each other. So like I invite you know, anyone in the Latino community. So you're there so involved with the Bar Association. So, you know, if you have someone that you have met and you want to invite here, you know, we can do that as well. And you have to keep me updated. Like, what is your next project? You know, like in what field you're gonna be working. So far, so now moving away from the law, what is your favorite place or favorite thing to do in South Florida?
Oh man, I have so many favorite places. Gym, travel.
Gym.
I'm a whiskey enthusiast. So
Okay.
connoisseur. Talking to friends. I'm fairly simple. So,
Okay.
to give you an idea, I do like to travel. A couple years ago, I went to Europe for my birthday. London and Paris. Always wanted to do the trip. So
Okay.
last time I went to Europe, I studied abroad there, so I actually lived there for a time.
Wow. So how long were you there?
For my birthday in 2023, I was there for about a little over a week. And when
Okay.
I lived there, it was for a summer in 2015.
Okay. That's super cool. So you were able to study, but also you have fun. You went and visit the places.
Yeah. I always recommend if you go to Spain, go to Madrid and go to Malaga. Beautiful cities. Beautiful
Yeah.
cities. Everyone's heard of Barcelona, and that's great, but Malaga and Madrid are very underrated.
So which place was your favorite then?
It's kind of a tie. I like them both for different reasons. so.
Okay. I haven't visited Spain yet, so it's in my list. It's in my list.
It's a nice
too.
country. It's a
Yeah.
great, nice country.
It's on my list to visit next, and I have a couple of friends that live there that they decided to go and move there. So it's there in my list. So your family is in Central Florida. Do you have any siblings?
Nope, just me, myself, and I.
Also, you're the only child, just like my daughter, only child. She says I have the only child syndrome. You know.
I've been told that before so many times.
So, other than so right now you're looking for your next opportunity. So, what are you doing right now? You're in your free time.
Exercising. I know with the Puerto Rican bar, I'm trying to host and organize this. We call it a continuing legal education credit. Think of it as like
Okay.
a seminar where we're going to teach lawyers how to use like AI stuff. Like,
Oh.
so some of you guys know what ChatGPT and Claude is.
Yes.
There are special variants of that for lawyers that do written stuff for lawyers. There's
Okay.
also other LLMs that you've probably never heard of that are just for lawyers. There's been a lot of controversy over the attorneys using them or not doing them properly, or sometimes the AI just, when we tell it to do something, it just doesn't do it correctly. And this webinar is supposed to teach them this is how you use it appropriately, because you can get in big trouble if you fail to do that.
Exactly. So I have been in a seminar about AI, very like just an overview, and not for attorneys, just like for business owners, like professionals, to kind of like how to utilize it. But the biggest thing, and the lady who gave the seminar, it was an attorney, and the biggest thing she mentioned is like use the tools because they're available out there, but check. You know, you have to check the
Yep.
information that you get. So it's like you have to review, you have to read it, and then make sure that, you know, it makes sense or it's right, you know.
Yeah, I would say those chat boxes, they're not quite at the level to do what I can do, but there's going to be a day in the not too distant future where that will change. So I'm trying to help lawyers get ready for that day because it is coming. Before, I used to have to research and write a legal argument on my own, but very soon we'll have a version of ChatGPT to do that, or we have a special one called Co-Counsel that will do that for me.
Okay.
So, but you have to check it because sometimes it does make up laws and things like that. So,
Right. That's really cool. Really cool.
It's called a hallucination.
That's really cool. I'm glad that you guys are doing that. Because we have to, one thing that I have seen throughout the years, we cannot resist technology. We have to be open to continue to learn. So like my thing is business development, you know, sales, and we have to continue learning. And to be updated, to be aware of everything that's going on. And if there's new technology, I'm not gonna learn it all, but I want to understand the basic. And if there's an opportunity for me to utilize some technology that it can help my career, I want to do it, and I want to understand what's going on, right? Of course, my daughter is 13, and I can tell you she knows more about a lot of things than me. So, so you mentioned, so you're gonna go do those classes. I think that's really cool for the attorneys to have all that information and how to utilize Shot, GPT, and all that. On Monday, I'm having a networking meeting in West Palm Beach in Casamori restaurant. I invited you, so you're gonna make
you.
it, right? So Mark is gonna be there with me. So I'm inviting everyone. Come and check out the restaurant. We're gonna network. We're gonna connect with other professionals There's gonna be a diverse of type of businesses. And of course we're gonna have fun because it's everyone is welcome. Spanish, English, any type of business. But of course we're gonna put the sazon, the Latino sazon, right? So we'll have fun. I will make sure that we connect with each other. We'll have a short, like 2 minutes or 1 minute, short interviews. I'll have a little setup there, so that way it's kind of highlight the different businesses, and then Angel Secret and Casamori Asian Fusion Restaurant. They're the highlight businesses. I have shared registration, so whoever registers, will get a complimentary drink. The food is delicious. So it's like the favorite place, for a lot of people there. So I'm happy that you're gonna come. That way you also meet other people. I think I invited there's a group of personal injury attorneys, but in that group there is attorneys like doctors, I guess chiropractors, just like everything related to injury. So you'll meet there also some people from that field.
Okay.
It'll be fun.
Oh, I don't know. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, it'll be super fun. So tell me about you. So you're the only child, and so you're single.
Yes.
Okay. So also.
Well, I am seeing somebody.
You're seeing somebody. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. So.
But I'm not married, or if that's what you're asking.
Okay.
No, that's not.
Okay. So it was like really nice to meet you in Boca, and that's one of the things that I was telling here on the show, that it doesn't matter like what places we go, right? Or like what type of event. I go to a lot of networking meetings, and I meet new people, and I like to know their stories and what they do, and that's like the network part. So it was like really really nice to meet you there. Another thing that I wanted to ask you was, if you were to give an advice, I will say an advice to a person trying to figure it out, if they're if they were going to do the law school, or why not, like what recommendation or what advice you would tell them, or what they need to hear, maybe if this is like right for them, or not, or.
Where do I begin to answer that question? So,
go ahead.
they have whole seminars dedicated to answering that question.
Because I think a lot of people are trying to figure it out, like
Try not to emphasize the prestige thing. Go because you want to, not because you don't have anything else better to do. Because I have met people that's the reason why they went.
Okay.
And try to be flexible with the type of practice area you're going to be, or the type of lawyer, the kind of law that you want to practice, because you probably will switch practice areas a few times. So what I was doing for most of my career is stuff that I didn't think I was ever going to do when I was in law school and college. So that's the only thing, and that's not necessarily the end of the world. So some of the practice areas I thought I wanted to do back then, I definitely did not want to, and there's others I've never heard of that I have and I actually liked.
Okay. So I think that that advice can like work for anybody. I think the part of course, you do the research, you're trying to figure it out if it's a business you're going to start, or if you're going to go back to college or go to college, you're going to figure out what you're going to study, what's going to be your career. And it's kind of, okay, do the research, but also be open, because you might, through the process, you learn. And in a way, that happened to me. So I thought I was going to do a master in psychology, and ended up doing a master in business. And just because of the experience I have, and I said, no, I think I want to work with business owners. I know people need help, but I think my thing is like the business owner, and help them, grow and develop their business, or a startup and so on. So I went that way. But I think that's a great advice of like, be open, be flexible, do your research, and I think that's the main thing, having that flexibility that you think you're gonna work on this specific field, and then you end up somewhere else, right?
Yeah, because things change. I mean, AI is expanding right now in my profession, so that's changing a lot of things. We're going to talk about how that will change things. So some jobs that used to be around when I was younger probably won't exist anymore. It remains to be seen if others will open up that did not exist before.
So it's like talking a little bit about the EI. It's like a lot of people, instead of maybe, and correct me because this is why we're here, right? So instead of me calling a law office, I'll just search online.
There's some debate how that could take out some of the work that I would do. I still would say you should call an attorney because
of course,
it's just not doing things the way it doesn't do things quite correctly. So
yeah.
Can that change in the distant future? I don't know. I think it will get better at a lot of things.
Yeah.
I just think we're probably going to have to learn how to use it. Probably the way how older generations had to learn how to use computers for everything.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to completely take our jobs just yet, though I think it will do things that I used to do completely. It's like reviewing documents. It's definitely going to do that a lot. It can highlight the things that it thinks I should look at, which can save time and write legal arguments. I think it will be doing a lot of that in the not too distant future.
Yeah. I know that in different experiences, a lot of us do it, right? Like we search about a topic, we search online, and then now there's many. ChatGPT is just one, right? Like there's other names online that you can search, or you can ask them to write a document and so on. So I see that a lot of times what I was trying to say is that a lot of times people search online because it had happened to me in business. That somebody said, oh, I searched this and this is what I'm saying, and they're trying to tell me what to do because they searched online and this is what they saw. And I don't get offended because everyone you have a phone and you have a computer, so do your own research. And then I said, okay, yes, but because so then I have to like clarify and detail explain with I'm recommending this or different things. So I'm just explaining from my point of view because that's the one that I feel comfortable with. But I understand clearly, like somebody will think. And I will tell everybody if you have a situation that you need help from an attorney, first call an attorney. But also you can do your search, read about it, do your search, understand the situation, but call an attorney. So like every attorney office, if someone calls the office, is a free consultation or?
Depends on the firm and the attorney, so it depends. It really depends. It could vary. So.
Okay. So just call and ask because the easiest thing that we can do is call and ask, like ask and get more information. Instead of just trusting everything that is in the internet, right?
Yeah, because the internet doesn't always get everything correctly. So.
It's not always right. It's just like when I remember online when they started doing the translations, como tú sabes, traduciendo. So people were using it and it was so wrong. But now, I guess I look back, and now a lot of the websites, they're getting better.
Yeah.
At doing that translation. I can see the progress from years ago since I'm here in the United States, and how the progress. And that's because I don't know much about the AI or just ChatGPT, but it's like the collection of the data and how a lot of individuals corrected things. So we still need the human, and I hope that we don't get to that point where it's all going to be self-service. Because even from the stores that we go shopping, or if it's legal help, or whichever the business that we go to, I want to have a human there. I want to have the interaction. I want to call Mark and say, Mark, what do you think about this? What happened? It might be a consumer case or whatever, injury case or whatever it is, and I want your opinion. I want your brain, and I want you to give me an advice instead of just going online. right?
Yeah, I mean, online's for very basic things, but at the end of the day, you still need a human to assess things deeper. So AI, I think, is just going to help us do that in a way that computers used to do many years ago.
Okay. Mark, what phone number, if anyone has a question, if you want to hire him, or like if you have any question about law or any ideas, what number they can reach out?
Yeah, my personal number, 863-899-5912, and you could email me at mba@sincerelyyours.com, and sincere with a C.
Okay, very good. Time, se acabó. It finished. Time is gone. So, like, really, thank you. Gracias, you know, for being here. Continue being involved. I'm so proud of you and your family. Continue being involved with, you know, the associations, helping, and I'm going to see you on Monday.
Yeah.
And we're going to have fun. We'll connect and meet other professionals. Se nos acabó el tiempo, mi gente. So, nos vemos la otra semana. El lunes, si pueden ir a Casamari Fusion, Asian Fusion Restaurant, a Networking Meeting. Los espero allá. Se me cuidan. Pasen un súper lindo fin de semana. Chao. Bye.
Gracias por compartir aquí en La Vida Lucky. Sigue apoyándonos, visítanos para que compartamos juntos lo que es el mundo latino, la vida latina aquí en la Florida y en otros lugares del mundo. Te espero.